Hello, hello, hello out there. Welcome to another edition of Big Board Battles. Today, we have Warriors of the Dark Gods versus the Dwarven Halls, or Dwarven Holds. Either way, I'm not sure, but it's a bloody game, a fun game. I made a few mistakes again in this game, but again, I'm learning. I'm getting what I want to do with my list. I'm trying different things. In this list, I'm bringing a couple different things. I'm trying out a Battle Shrine, and I moved some points around to get a Sorcerer Lord in there because Magic hasn't really been doing that well for me lately. And I wanted something with a little more oomph for the casting, you know what I mean? Having just 3 spells as a level 2 caster with the Tomb of Lore, I was losing that phase every time, and I just felt like I needed to participate in that phase, so I took down some of my killy stuff, and I decided to put in a Sorcerer Lord on a Demon Steed, Path of Heavens. You'll see how it works out, and it's a fun game. One of my favorite opponents to play. Super tactical, really good. I always have to be on my toes with this guy, but here we go. Top of 1. So as you can see, he's got those Vengeance Seekers up front, you know. He gets first turn. He just deployed everything. He's got 2 Grudge organ guns is what they are. That rune of OP, I guess, and a lot of dwarves. The dwarf on the little Kodiak bear thing's a dwarf lord on a throne. And he's scary in close combat. He's scary at range. I'm going to do my best here. Like you see the Battle Shrine I got of Tzeentch kind of in the middle there, trying to give some hard target to all my stuff around him. I meant to get the Chariot in the 6-inch bubble, but I was just out and didn't realize it till after deployment. And so I was like, curses! So here's hoping. I was trying to get I sent some of my I sent some of my Hell Riders up to maybe draw some fire, and the other Hell Riders I kind of kept in reserve. I wanted to see if maybe I could get a Comet off or something, or a Lightning Storm or something to deal with those organ guns. And once I dealt with those, I felt like I could be a threat and make him come to me. So it was a gamble, but it's what I did. I have my Harbinger of Lust, the not yet painted model, all the way on the bottom of your screen there. He's going to go up and try to challenge those marksmen, and I feel confident that he could do well there. I gave him an Axe of Battle instead of the Sword of Strength I normally do, simply because I was feeling, oh, no, never mind. I gave him a Sword of Strength. The Axe of Battle is in another report. Forget you heard that. That is for later. Okay, so this is what we got going. I kept my EDC and my Manticore Lord out of the line of sight of those organ guns. I didn't want to get him shot off the board. So we'll see. He gets first turn, like I said, and he doesn't really move much. He moves those Vengeance Seekers up, and then he starts shooting. Magic first, actually, and he actually gets the Storm spell, the D6 lightning hits off on my EDC, which makes him frenzy, so that white dot's just now how he has frenzy. He takes a wound from it, of course, but that's just how this game goes. So after he obliterates my Hell Riders, does a couple wounds here and there to a few things, it is my turn. Those skulls markers you see are what he has declared hatred against. So it's both my groups of warriors and my Manticore Lord. So smart choices on his part. But I move up, kind of keep my much stuff as I can in that little 6-inch bubble there. I tried to scoot my Chariot over so he's in the 6-inch bubble. And my Hell Riders, I need to get them out so I can maybe get my Manticore and EDC Lord. I'm eyeing them, and they're kind of decent range charges at this point. They're about 8-inch charge for both into that block of dwarves on the flank there. So I figure if I try and I fail, I can get those Hell Riders up to kind of block a little bit. And if I succeed, I can again keep him from coming into my flanks with those Hell Riders if he doesn't shoot him off the board. But I have my Manticore Lord and my EDC out in the open now, so I'm figuring he'll probably try to go for them instead. And it's a risk, but you got to go forward at some point, and this was what I did. My Lore of Lust, or my Harbinger of Lust guy over there is again eyeing those dwarves in the forest, and I'm like, okay, I can go in there and 2 ranks. He's not going to get enough combat res to stop me from winning static combat res, so I'll just eat that and maybe get into that anvil, maybe the organ guns. I don't know. I want something there though. In my magic phase, before I cast Lightning Storm, it doesn't bounce. It does 1 wound to an organ gun, but I cast it on double 6s, and I use 4 dice, so it's on a 1, 2, 3. He gets sucked into the warp, and I rolled a 3, and he gets sucked into the warp. So I don't know how well he's going to do for me now. The whole point of taking him is to see if Stronger Magic helped me at all, but that's 300 points or so just gone. But unlucky. That's how the dice roll, man. Sometimes it happens. Pass all my panic checks thanks to my BSB. So it wasn't... No, I'm not going to lie. It hurt. It hurt me the rest of the game because now I have to go forward. He can dictate the flow of the game from this point on, because he can shoot me if I don't just rush forward and try to get into combat as soon as possible. And those organ guns hurt, man. They hurt. So, top of 2. He just repositions a couple things. He backs up a little bit to give my charges with my EDC and my Manticore Lord, make it a little harder. He runs over with his Vengeance Seekers to try to get better position and block that flank off if he can. Other than that, he's just positioned and do some shooting. Nothing really happens in shooting, except for he gets like 3 wounds off on my EDC. He kills my chariot, but I do what I have to do. I make those charges, as you can see on my turn. My EDC and Manticore Lord both roll very well, and they get in there. And so I position my Hell Riders, and I try to kind of move them a little bit so that they're, when both blocks of dwarves come in, that they won't overrun into the side there. Unfortunately, I mispositioned here, and I didn't realize he had to maximize with the Vengeance Seeker when he charged first, and that would put the other dwarves over more. Either way, bad play on my part, but excellent play on my opponent's part for catching that. On the other side of the board, my Lust Harbinger does get in to the crossbowman there. I do take a difficult terrain check, and I fail one. So I took a wound right there. So I was like, 1 wound down, 2 to go. That's what my opponent said. But I had I still wasn't scared of these guys. I'm toughness 5. They're strength 3 when they're not charging. So not a bad lineup there. So we'll see how it goes. Another point of interest throughout this whole game, I forgot that I had a bound spell on my my battle shrine there. It's a battle shrine of change. So I didn't even roll anything for my magic phases. Not that it would have been hard to stop a bounce spell, but still. Just a side note, I totally forgot. This is one of my first times running this guy, and so I wasn't aware of what he could do, so I forgot, and that's what happened. And over here, I do win combat, but he holds, and he tests to reform and passes it, fine. So he wants to get more static res in there. I do well. I kill like 3 or 4 dwarves between my steed, the stomp, and everything else. He's not steadfast because he's in the woods, but still, I only win by like I win by 3, but he's a leadership 9, so it goes to 6 re-rolling. He stayed, is what the important part is. And so over here, I do well. I wipe out one of his ranks, you know what I mean? And I kill the champion just dead. But he's steadfast. He sticks. And as you can see from the Hell Rider's positioning, like I said, I positioned it so, again, I forgot about the Vengeance Seeker, that he would have to maximize, and then that guy would have to just kind of hit the side there. In retrospect, it's obvious, but when I was looking at the board, it was not. So, this is what he does. He charges in with the Dwarven Lord's unit and the Vengeance Seeker. The other Vengeance Seeker kind of gets in the way of my my Nurgle or Pestilence Warriors and my Battle Shrine. Try to stave off my inevitable march to victory against his organ guns there. And he has his BSB's unit, the Dwarven of Deepwatch, I think. They have the shields that give them a 5-up ward save or something. I'm not sure if it's the unit or just Dwarven shields do that. I wasn't sure, but either way. So this is how it's looking, and I'm worried about my EDC at this point because I know if the Lord gets in there, he has that weapon that against toughness 5 enemies, he doubles his strength or something and does D3 wounds. So I know if his Lord touches my EDC at all, I'm just gone. I'm just dead. So I'm looking at him like, well, if I can't break this unit this turn, and they're probably going to be steadfast, I'm in trouble. So he does sneak a wound through with his organ guns, but on the bright side, I'm able to save almost all of them, and he only does, again, 1 wound out of, I think, 20 or 30 shots. So I mean, armor's a beast to get through. And combat goes about how you'd expect over there. And he overruns, and of course, he gets into the flank. I lose combat just from static res alone, and I flee. But luckily, I get away. So I'm figuring I'm turning around, I'll challenge him, and yeah, that static res is going to hurt. But if I can keep from getting a wound on this guy, and I can do my full 4, at least I won't lose by much. I have a chance of sticking, and then we can do the grind away. And if he wants to challenge me with his Lord, I'm a little worried about that, but I got 5 strength, 7 attacks, and then a multi-wounding Manticore, which I'd really have to bank on to kill this guy. And the bottom of 3, I rally with my Lord, I turn around, I charge that Vengeance Seeker with the Pestilence Warriors and the Shrine of Change. And my figure in here is I'll get the Pestilence Warriors in and then overrun into his organ gun and use the Shrine of Change to block, or at least position it a little bit so I could either threaten to charge the other organ gun if his Deep Watch doesn't come down, or just take the charge of the Deep Watch and hope that I can survive the combat res and not run, so I can get a flank with my Wrath Warriors. I can't move my Manticore Lord, so I'm just going to have to hope at that point. You know, on charges they get +1 strength, and that's it's devastating is what it is. I do take another wound from, I forget what the second wound was from on the BSB, but I apparently have 2. And my Lust Harbinger over on the other end is just making short work of those crossbow dwarves. He lost again, but he made his save, so, or he made his leadership test, so he's stuck. But he does not stick on his round of combat. Not much happens in shooting. He kills a couple more dudes. Yeah, I think he did shoot again into my BSB. That's how I get the next wound, and he slipped another wound through. I do take another wound here. I haven't put the marker down, but I reform, and I'm going to take another wound. Not this turn, but when I try to charge the organ gun is when I take the second wound, I believe. And here, the Vengeance Seeker puts a wound through on the War Shrine, but otherwise, I blast him. I go forward. I hit the organ gun. I'm in combat. Only in contact with about 2 guys there, but I figure it's enough. It only has 2 wounds left. I could do 2 wounds. I'm not too scared about that. His crossbowmen are fleeing at this point. Yeah, I stick, actually, in combat with my Manticore Lord. And so we're there bursting it out. I'm full health. I'm facing down a lot of stuff, but I figure he's out of characters now, or out of champions now. So he has to either accept with his War Throne guy, or just, try to beat me down with his normal attacks. And I'm pretty confident I can survive his normal attacks, and I could just keep getting the wounds I need to stick. But I'm not sure about that, and I'm very worried. If only I had spells to help me out here, you know what I mean? But alas, such is the nature of the game. He does charge with his Deep Watch, and he gets into contact with the Pestilence Warriors, and I figure, okay, I'm gonna take some wounds here, but if I could stick, I can get a good front charge with my War Shrine, and I could get a good. I'm not sure if it's gonna be. It's probably a flank charge with my warriors and my BSB, and just eat that unit if I can. And I turn to face he rallies with his crossbowmen, of course, and he shoots some stuff. Does a couple wounds here and there to my Wrath Warriors. So in this combat, I break and I run. He accepts his challenge. No, I don't break and run. He accepts his challenge. I accept his challenge with against his Lord, and he has multi wounds D3, strength 10. I miss enough of my ward saves, and he just goes through and destroys me. And in this combat, again, that ward save of 5-up just saves his butt. He can't fail him. I don't think I do a single wound. And to add insult to injury, I'm pretty sure his grudge and his organ gun survives this combat. Actually, no. He does break me. I do run. I do kill the organ gun. But I die charging his other organ gun with my Lord of Lust there. He charges the other organ gun, and he fails his difficult terrain tests. And he dies. He didn't take a single wound from shooting, from magic, or from any dwarf. All his wounds were from that damn forest. Just charging into things, taking difficult terrain tests, and failing them. And I was so disappointed because he did so well killing those dwarves. And I figured I'm going to get into his Rune of Power, his organ guns, and eat all those points. I lost my EDC, I lost my Lord, but I'm pretty strong over here. But no, he fails. I do get into his unit. I want to stick him there. I fail my charge with my Wrath Warriors. I fail it. And so all their movement is just wheeling. But I do make it with my BSB, and I do make it with my, what's it called? The Battle Shrine. But what am I going to do at this point? It's a precarious situation that I am. But I do not give up hope. If I can hold combat here, I'll challenge his BSB. I'm very confident that my BSB will win. But I don't win. He got Rune of Reckoning off on those guys, I think on his turn. And it didn't matter. I flubbed with my attacks. His BSB got the last wound through. He didn't wound my War Shrine, but he still broke it. And it still runs. So this is how it looks over here. Oh, my Manticore Lord. I guess he just took 2 wounds. I remember his Lord killing it. I think this is the turn his Lord kills it. And Yes, because his lord declined the challenge the first time. And this was just his normal attacks getting through. And I stick, but his lord will accept the challenge this time. And he will finish me off, which is unfortunate. My Wrath Warriors get charged by both the Deep Watch there and his other unit of warriors. It's not looking good, folks. It's not looking good at all for the home team. My Pestilence Warriors, they're there, and if I can stick with my Wrath Warriors, I'm planning on getting them into the side of Deep Watch and see what I can do. But it is not to be. He kills my Wrath Warriors, overruns, catches them, gets out of my charge arc for my Pestilence Warriors. He kills my Manticore Lord, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking at it, and he's like, "You want to call the game?" And I'm like, "I kind of do." So 5 turns instead of 6, gentlemen. That is what we have. But it was a fun game, and I learned a lot about positioning. I learned a lot about being way more careful with my wizard and not just rolling. Well, I don't know. A 13 up is what I need to cast the Lightning Storm, and 4 dice is what I need to kind of ensure that happens. Just average roll-wise, you know what I mean? Percentages. And it's just bad luck is what it was. Just plain old bad luck. Either way, super fun game. I really enjoyed my opponent there. You'll see another game we have later where I play both his orcs and the orcs I played a couple weeks ago. And, I do much better. Let's say that. This isn't going to be just a channel of me losing all the time. But, it wouldn't be fair of me just to post my victories. You know what I mean? Plus, I'd get a lot less reports in if I just posted my victories. So I hope you guys liked it. That's the end of the game. Dwarven holds victory. It was a major one. We didn't tally out the points or anything, but again, I took a knee, so probably a 20-0. Dwarven holds are tough. They're really tough. Everything they have is, you can't outshoot them. They have so much toughness and so much saves that it's really hard just to plink away at them, and their shooting is just much better than most other armies. And when you get into combat, they have so much that's it's so hard to kill them. They have so much that's steadfast, so much that's stubborn, so much that's able to just stick there and grind you down. Yeah. You really need spells, I feel. Magic is very important. And I just wasn't able to do it. But anyway, thanks guys. And subscribe. Talk to you later.